Hey everyone, Max here. We're down here at PAX on the indie floor, and we're joined by
Ivan.
over at the Iterative Collective.
The Iterative Collective is our publisher, but Good Morning Games is the company that made this, which is just me and my wife.
So what do you guys have on show this week?
What we're showing off is Nightcrawlers. It's a physics-based action RPG dungeon crawler. Kind of.
I just wrapped up from having a turn of it, and it is absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
So the premise of it was, it seems to be what I refer to it as a player versus environment for the most part. You're in an arena with another player, walls come up in the middle of the screen, and for the first couple of minutes, you are just solo killing some enemies to level up. As you kill the enemies and level up, you randomly assign yourself a level up card from a pool. Some of that you were mentioning, some of those were unique and stackable.
Yep.
And then at the end of the 3 minutes, it's a no-holds bar. You do as much damage as quickly as possible to your enemy.
Yep.
I did terribly. So I died during the first 3 minutes, and I lost all 4 of my levels. And by the time the timer ran out, I had gained 1 level back, and I proceeded to get stomped by the opponent. How did you balance the level up system with the random assignment of level up cards?
I'll be honest, I didn't really balance it. That's why it is what it is. No, but basically what I did was, because it's random, right? Everyone starts out with the same stats and everything like that, and it really just comes down to what cards that you get, and then your skill level at the end of it, right? So, I mean, all I had to do was balance the cards individually to not have one that's too strong that it's like, this one always has to be picked, and this one's always a skip. And it was just about that, just playing the game, because we both have the exact same chance of, let's say, getting the card like Feral Aptitude, which makes you shoot twice. Yeah. Everyone has the same chance of getting it. So if you get it and I don't get it, it doesn't feel like it's unbalanced because you know you have a chance to get it. Sure. So it was really just about that, just giving everyone the same chance of getting the same things.
And is this the first game that you've designed?
This is the only game I've ever designed. I started this game 4 years ago just to teach myself how to program. And it actually started off as a mosh pit simulator. Okay. So it was all ragdoll. You follow a band around, and then you just beat the crap out of people in the mosh pit, and you follow this band all over the world. And from that, it turned to Nightcrawlers, which I got a lot of inspiration from Archero. If you guys ever played Archero, mobile game. But I wanted to put a twist to it. First of all, make it 3D. And secondly, have it so that you spawn your own enemies. Because I kind of wanted to give the player agency and just be like, okay, you know what? It's not like, in every game now, you go into a room, it's 100 enemies, good luck. But I thought, you know what, give the player, if they want to spawn 100 enemies or 2 enemies, let them do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So in multiplayer, the enemies spawn by themselves, but when you play the single player campaign, you spawn your own enemies. So there are little portals that you spawn enemies at, and you can spam the shit out of it. You get hundreds of enemies come down, or you just have 2 or 3.
So it's essentially the same gameplay in both single player and multiplayer?
Yes. But basically, if you get to depth 50 in the dungeon, that's why it's an endless crawler instead of an endless runner. So if you get to depth 50, you fight the big duck, which is why we have a big duck with a helmet. That's like the first boss. And then once you get to that, you unlock endless mode, and you just go as far as you possibly can.
Okay. So at that point, there's no limit to how high you can level up in single player?
And the whole thing is because I want the player to feel powerful, but I don't want to unload that power at the beginning. So at the beginning you kind of feel like ass. You get to level 10 or 20 and you just start wrecking everything. And then I've seen someone played, I think, a 6-hour run, and they were level 78 and they were just smashing everything. And I was like, I know it looks OP, but he took a long time to get there, so it's okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's really about that, about just letting the player play how they want to, and then not worrying too much if they're too powerful or not, because you have to put a significant investment into it.
So is this the first big showcase that you've shown off Nightcrawlers?
This is the first time I've shown Nightcrawlers to a public audience in person. And this is the first time that multiplayer has been shown to anybody. I finished it last night, as I said, literally at midnight. That's why there's still some bugs in it. But yeah, so no one's ever seen multiplayer, and this is the first showcase, but I've had a demo up for a couple of weeks. I mean, it feels amazing being here with my own game, but I think this is my 15th convention. I've been to a lot of conventions with the company that I was at before, showing other people's games, of course, because I was in community management, and this feels completely different.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But it's not that different. As I said, I've been to a lot, but it's really because I know how broken the game is on the back end, I'll be like, hey, don't go in that corner. The game's gonna fucking break, don't go there. So that's the only difference, where I know if something breaks, it's my fault.
So how far off are we looking at a release date for this?
Q1 of next year. So I'm aiming for like January, February, but it's most probably going to be around March.
And that's coming to...
PC first, and it's going to have like local couch co-op, but then I'm going to do online multiplayer, and then we're going to port it out to Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox.
Ooh, PlayStation, I like the sound of that.
I'm trying to go everywhere.
No, that's great.
You know?
That's fantastic.
But I'm only one person, so we'll see. You know.
Well, as someone who's played it, I absolutely loved it. It was such a charming, fun.
Thank you so much.
Even though I got my ass handed to me, it was. If you're down here for PAX this week, are you here for the full weekend?
Yeah.
If you're here for the weekend, definitely come and check this out. They're down in the indie section, and it's called Night Crawlers. It's absolutely fantastic. Bring some friends. It's PvP, guys.
Thank you very much.